our goal is to try and get people recreating, getting people out, being active, improving their health. We lost 60% of our water over a 6-month period of time. The golf community was pretty frustrated. Made it really difficult to maintain an 18-hole golf property. My name's Josh Heptig. I'm the golf superintendent for the county of San Luis Obispo, which is a little bit more like the general manager. Manage 3 different golf courses: Morro Bay, Dairy Creek, and Chalk Mountain. Our climate, if it gets below 55 degrees, people are cold, and if it gets above 65, 70 degrees, people are hot. It's about as ideal a community as you can possibly get. We've got 3 different golf courses I manage, and I figure water being one of the biggest things, being in California. I remember picking up the newspaper the first day we moved here, and they were measuring rain in like hundredths of an inch. I was like, that's not good if that's what you're measuring precipitation by. I was a seasonal greenskeeper out here at Dairy Creek. Was my first job working with the county, and obviously you've got the rolling terrain. It's very agrarian. There's not a single house that you see, outside of like our 9th hole now. You really don't even see any buildings or any other structures other than the rolling hills and the terrain.
How exactly does the water work with the prison system here?
So the California Men's Colony, they deliver the water to the golf course. It's a direct delivery, so they collect all that water, they process it. They've got to send a certain amount of water down the creek, which goes out to the ocean, and that's used for steelhead habitat down the Toro Creek. And then all of the residual water beyond that goes to El Toro Regional Park and Dairy Creek Golf Course. So that's really our only source of water. So the water really, where it came to be ahead is the California prison system. They had to get their prisons back to 100% occupancy. Our local prisons were running close to 200% occupancy. So Assembly Bill 109 stated that all California prisons had to get to 100% occupancy and not exceeding that. So once that happened, all of our prisons, our local prison here went from 200% to 100%. When you cut that many prisoners out, especially in the fact that we're in the middle of a drought when that happened, we lost 60% of our water over a 6-month period of time without a whole lot of, notice ahead of time. So that made it really difficult to maintain an 18-hole golf property in any semblance of playable conditions that the customers would like to have. The USGA is firm and fast. Brown is the new green. That's what we became. This tabletop here may have been softer than some of our fairways out there at that point in time. So we had enough water to keep our greens green and our tee boxes somewhat green, and everything else we just shut the water off to it. So we had to figure out something to do on our end, because we're losing about $800,000 of trying to maintain a golf course in a brown condition when our play went from 45 to 50,000 rounds on an 18-hole property to 20 to 22,000 rounds is what we dropped to. So we lost 50% of our play. Kind of like the mission issue of Houston, we've got a problem. The way we went about fixing the problem is in 2014 we went to the Board of Supervisors and we kind of raised our hand and said, hey, this is going to be an issue. This was right when we learned that the water was going to become an issue. We were still green in 2014, but as soon as 2015 came, April, May of 2015, I mean, it got really scary. So we went to the Board of Supervisors, they said, go find us solutions. So we went out, we did 16 public meetings, focus group studies to try and figure out what does the community want? What do they need? We were happy to see that the community was supportive of keeping an element of golf. So we took all the public input and created what we're calling a programming plan. We're soon going to be putting zip lines in, camping cabins. We've got plans for putting in a mountain bikes and skills course, mini golf and go-karts, electric go-karts. And then the other element, which was the first one we did, is we put in Swing Time, which is our top tracer range facility, it's been phenomenal to offset the loss of revenue and keep this business element of the golf facility chugging along.
Why go from 18 to 9?
Well, we just physically didn't have the resources to keep an 18. You know, it was clear from the way that the public was coming out and using the golf property as a brown 18-hole golf course, that was not financially viable. We ended up keeping what was our old back 9, and simply the main reason we did that, we used 5 acre-feet less water on that 9 than the other 9. The golf community was pretty frustrated. I mean, vehemently frustrated. You know, they were coming in complaining all the time. We lost some customers, literally, that they just said, we're never coming back. And some of them we finally, you know, time has been healing some wounds and we're starting to see some old faces come back. The general community was really supportive of what was going on because it brought there's a lot of excitement for families with younger kids to try and get some mini golf and some go-karts and some BMX pump tracks and all the different elements that were brought up. We've got Family Fun Day Sunday out here. If you really want to see a party, come out on a Sunday. We got live music out on the patio. We've got $40 for families as long as you've got a junior golfer. All 4 of you play with golf carts and greens fees for $40, and we'll get 35 to 50 families out here. You've got people from the community that don't even have any interest in playing golf that are coming out for the bottomless mimosas and the Bloody Mary breakfast buffet and the music that goes on from 12 until 3 o'clock. You know, oftentimes there was walls around up, whether it be geographic walls or whether it be physical walls that people put up so that you can't see inside the golf property. You know, people that have never been on a golf course don't understand what it is. They've got an idea of what they think it is, but until they actually get onto the property and actually see it, see the wildlife, see how we're managing different things. In my opinion is if we're afraid of what people might see, then we need to improve upon that. And I think golf has done a really good job of that to manage our water resources, to manage our nutrient resources, to make sure that we're being good stewards of the environment. It's really kind of scary when you get down to the point where people are worried about, and that's where the golf industry's got to figure this stuff out too, is that if it comes down to people washing their clothes or having enough water to drink versus irrigating a golf course, we're going to lose that battle. You know, we've still got some uncertainty as far as what's going to happen. You know, the prison system right now they're talking about cutting another 50% of their population again, mainly because this prison is so difficult and expensive to operate, which could potentially mean we lose another 40 to 50% of the water that we have. So we've got to get the various different talking heads in our organizations, leadership organizations, to really help us push the message that, you know, this is what golf really needs to be and what golf really truly is. We got to get out. We got to be more proactive and tell our story.